toes in your shoes and that would make you warm. I've asked you a question.
I don't think I'd have room for them in these boots, to be honest. But if you just get them in between the toes, curl them around a little bit,
Just get
we're talking like pepper flakes. We're talking like full chilies. What did you just pull out of your mouth?
I meant chili like the... almost said chili like the dessert, and I realized it's not what I was gonna say.
What are you eating for dessert?
Just some
giant ass bowl
hot
of
chili.
Some whipped cream on top.
Some chili souffle.
That's fucking disgusting.
You never had chili with a big scoop of vanilla on it?
Is this how you wanted to start this off? This is where you wanted to go right off the bat. This is where we're going.
Hi, babes, and welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Stopping By. It's the podcast where we put chili in our toes.
This was not part of the agreement when I decided to come here.
Well, you signed the contract.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is it a contract?
Yes. And it specifically states that you will eat chili from your toes with one big scoop of vanilla.
Okay, so we confirm that we're talking about like actual like the food stuff, chili, not the plant or
not
like
not the place. Yes,
chilies are a thing, right? I'm not crazy.
Oh, like a chili pepper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I could see the real, genuine doubt and panic in your face of like, oh my. Chilies are real, right?
I mean, I had that same problem with the word bucket the other day. Should I introduce myself?
Yeah. Hey, who are you? How did you get in my house?
Hi. My name's Brandon, and sometimes I play video games with Salem.
That's true. That happens sometimes.
Not for a while though.
It hasn't.
I've not played video games in quite some time.
We've been too busy making all this chili.
5 years of chili, folks.
It's been a long chili. In it. No, yeah. Brandon is a longtime friend, first time caller, and I don't know why I'm trying to host this like it's a fucking morning radio show.
I don't know.
Long time pal, first time caller. Hey, how you doing, Brandon?
I was gonna take the.
You better do a sick vape.
No,
about a fucking
by instinct, I grabbed the wrong thing, but I didn't want to be
on the SS Good Kush, my guy.
I'm thirsty.
Brandon's about to set sail on the SS fucking Fat Cloud.
No, I'm very ashamed at the fact that I vape, but we can get to that in a second.
Yeah, well, let's get to it now. I
want to talk about the shame you brought on your family. I want
to talk about how you've dishonored me here. Wait, what does it say?
What does what say?
On your vape?
It says drag.
Oh, because you're taking a drag of
it's a Vupu drag.
See, because I'm a big homosexual.
Yes.
So I thought you were clacking your fan when. Do you not even know what that means?
Clacking my fan?
So you know how fans?
Yes.
Gays love them.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a different kind of homosexual.
Am I?
Yes.
I'm the one that flies under the radar.
Yeah.
That's why I dress like a Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I was
going to
say you look like you're in a Wranglers commercial. Has anyone ever? You know who you're kind of like in as far as style goes? Do you know who Garrett Watts is?
No idea.
He's a YouTuber, so you're not as flamboyantly faggoty as he is.
No. I don't think so. I've never heard of him. But...
Garrett's very gay. I love Garrett.
Okay.
He's amazing, and I want him to be my friend. But he has a very similar style, the sort of Wranglers Jeep commercial. Brandon kind of looks like he's either... You know what you look like? This isn't... Okay. I'm not trying to drag you.
Let's go there. Let's go. No, go ahead.
You look like you're about to walk on to an audition for American Idol, and you're going to sing that song, Baby Turn On the Lights. You know the one?
This got super specific.
Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low. I'm so glad you knew what it was. You look like you're about to go on there and fucking win somehow.
Oh, with the power of country, heart, and soul.
Yes.
The spirit of America.
with my Tacoma F-29. I don't know.
I've told you how bad I want a Tacoma.
Yes, you want a space truck.
Yes.
Yes.
My dad has a space truck.
Brandon has a space dad, and his space dad has a space truck. I love how no one knows what's happening.
No idea.
There's so much insider knowledge and insider trading that no one will get here.
I don't think you know what that means.
I don't know how to do taxes. Is that a tax thing?
You know what? I actually wish I knew.
What is insider trading? Right into the show.
What
Call
are
in
taxes? What's a mortgage?
And
Find out
where
next time on Dragon
now.
Ball
Are we
Z.
going to put all this chili? Okay, but hold on. Back to the
vape.
Let's get
Is
this
that what
train back on the tracks. Your vape.
Mm-hmm.
It is not often that I see anyone with a full fucking rig anymore.
Yeah. No, you don't. It's
Like,
it's
it
kind
looks
of archaic.
Yeah, because I remember I was like 19 when that was really big.
Mm-hmm.
And an old friend of mine who I'm no longer friends with had one, and we worked with someone who dismantled them and rebuilt them for a living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was like huge.
That's a huge thing.
And
Yeah.
it looked like everyone was carrying around the fucking handles to pistols all the time.
Yeah, no, some people I thought there's some like shit was gonna pop out of it like a fucking lightsaber.
Dude, it's buck wild. And like that's a pretty tame one,
Mhm.
I feel like, to some of the ones that were back then.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted something more low profile because
Right.
I mean, the reason why you don't see these anymore is because there's like these puff bars and jewels and all these new like disposable ones that you pretty much just like you hit it and quit it, you buy a new one, or
Right.
there's like reusable pods, that kind of stuff, and they're way smaller, way lower profile, but
Well, jewels are really bad for you though, right?
they're really really strong.
Yeah.
In terms of
There's like a
nicotine,
fuck
I
ton of
only,
nicotine.
for anyone who vapes who's listening, I only use 3 milligram juice. It's like
cloud heads in the audience.
shout out to all my clouds.
We're taking fat rips. Anybody into slaying cotton? Here we go.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we have Sonic in the studio apparently.
let's let this cloud dissipate upon the floor here as I reflect on.
Okay, now it looks like the Resident Evil
terrible
trailer in my
habits.
house.
What was I saying?
People don't vape no more.
I only use 3 milligram juice, and
Right.
it's pretty much like the lowest form you could get, and that's because I had smoked before. I smoked cigarettes before.
Mm-hmm.
Really gross.
Yeah,
I mean, no, I guess not trying to judge anyone that does, but like for me, I didn't like it.
Right.
You know, it was the smell and the taste, and it just got all bad.
It's
I didn't like
expensive too.
God, especially in California.
Yeah.
because all the taxes and
Because
stuff.
capitalism.
Yep. I mean, this is funny too. So the reason why they made that tax was, you know, they can argue to sway people from smoking cigarettes, but in
Right.
reality, I think they were just kind of taking advantage of addictions that
Absolutely.
are super hard to kick.
Legal addiction,
Yeah.
essentially.
But yeah, I use this because all the other things like the puff bars and the jewels are too strong for me, because my whole thing was I wanted to get off of the nicotine.
Right.
But I'm pretty much on my last leg with this because I'm on like the lowest level of juice until there's just no nicotine at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is like I'm kind of going in like a U shape in terms of like progress. Like way up here, you know, I was at the top of the U. I was, you know, smoking cigarettes and stuff, and I just dropped down to the bottom of the U, and here I am with just the 3 milligram juice. But next thing you know, I'm gonna start buying jewels and puff bars and then
Right.
all that because I can't seem to stop with this. And you know what it is it's nicotine, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
is bad for you.
And all others.
It's very bad for you.
Yeah. And I mean, it is addictive. That's a huge property of it. And also, it's just, I think beyond nicotine, too, just the sort of hand to mouth habit, you know?
Oh yeah, and then, a lot of it wasn't. A lot of it wasn't the nicotine that I wanted. It was really just the ritual of having something to inhale.
Yeah.
Because I think when I bought this, I also stopped smoking weed,
Right.
which I now have not stopped smoking weed.
Right.
I am still smoking weed. One may
Blaze it
classify as ungodly amount, but
Okay.
I mean, it was mostly just having something to like inhale because like
Right.
I wasn't smoking cigarettes anymore. I wasn't smoking weed, but I still had that kind of like nervous tick to want to, you know, do that. And you know, I wasn't gonna smoke meth or anything.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go back to cigarettes, so I got that. And
That's a thing, too, that I think people don't recognize inside of it is like just the sort of handsome mouth. Like, I have the same issue with snacking. You know, it's like the kind of stigma of like, am I just snacking because I'm bored?
Mm-hmm.
It's like just that sort of,
Yeah.
you know, stimulation of like, well, I'm just going to hit this.
And that's one of the worst things about this too, compared to cigarettes, is because if you want to smoke a cigarette, I mean, for the most part, at least like where I live right now, I live with people that smoke cigarettes and they smoke outside. You know, they don't want the smoke in their house just because, you know, like,
You got to commit to it.
Yeah, exactly. But with vaping is like there's no trace of scent really, like that doesn't linger, it doesn't stick to fabric or anything, you know, and it's so easy. It fits in your pocket, you know, it's always with you, and so it's just hard to not want to hit it 24/7.
Right.
Like while I'm at work, for some context, I work outside of an abandoned warehouse for 8 hours a day, just making sure that homeless people don't shoot up or stick their dicks in each other behind the building.
Yeah.
Or steal copper. I have a lot of stories about that place. We can get into that later.
Jesus.
But, I mean, there's nothing to do. I just sit out there all day. I circle this building. I'm outside, you know, so I might as well just do nothing but vape. And I go through like 2 full tanks while I'm there.
Yeah. It was the same thing when I was a security guard. I never got a vape because at the time I just couldn't fucking afford one because that's back when they were hot. So a good solid rig was like as much as a console costs pretty much. Fuck.
Oh, yeah. It can get pricey.
Yeah. And like I would sit at this back shack checking in trucks 8 to 12 hours a day. But I worked at the time where it was dead time. So you'd get 1, maybe 2 trucks every couple hours. So really, I mean, you know, you just sit back there doing fuck all. And I really wanted that stimulation.
Yep.
So I would borrow my friends and take it with me. And you're just standing outside the shack or even sitting inside, you know, because like you said, there's no trace of it.
Yeah.
And,
no,
you know,
I mean, they've said don't vape in the patrol car. I totally vape in the patrol car.
Oh, yeah. Well, and fucking, because any scent that you may get, it doesn't smell like nicotine or tobacco. It smells like fucking mango, you know, candy or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
This place doesn't smell like American spirits.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's I have blood orange mango snow cone in there.
Exactly.
Which I would buy in a fucking shampoo and conditioner if I could.
It smells really good. I took a puff of it earlier and it was delicious.
Yeah, it tastes really good.
It does.
But apparently that's why all the kids are buying it, so now we can't have that anymore.
Can't. And now we gotta smoke fucking ass chew McGee.
Yeah, just go back to buying cigarettes illegally. You know they can't make colorful packaging anymore either.
Really?
Yeah, all the juices and stuff. Because you've been into a vape shop before, and you have that big old shelf, you know,
right?
All the colors and stuff coordinating to what the flavors are, you know. If it's like a blueberry limeade, it's like blue and yellow, exactly. And that's exactly what they wanted to avoid. So now there's a law that says that they can't have colorful packaging. So now you go in there, and every fucking box of juice is black, just straight black, and it says what the flavor is on the front of it. But that's it. No pictures. There's like no logos anymore.
And that's like marketing 101. It makes it far less enticing.
Yeah, and it's really, really weird.
So you see a package with like a blue raspberry snow cone, you're like, oh fuck yeah, that looks good.
No, but that's so stupid. The thing that's so stupid about that is oh yeah, I remember when I first started smoking cigarettes, I definitely picked my cigarettes based on how pretty the packaging was.
Right.
It's like, no, it was whatever's fucking cheapest. Like,
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh man, there's a cool design on that one. It's like, no, what can I afford right now?
I'm not 6.
Yeah,
6-year-olds aren't going in there buying the shit. It's teenagers, and they know better than that.
I like the one with the unicorn.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm 22. I need some shit that I can pay for right now.
And they're worried about what they're trying to do is keep the kids from getting into the kids' hands. But it's like, I remember when I was 16, 15, you know, like if I wanted to get my hands on some weed or a cigarette,
it's really fucking easy.
I could fucking find some weed or a cigarette.
Putting it in a black box isn't gonna stop. I used to have kids in my fucking junior, even sophomore math class. 15, 16-year-old be like, yeah, you want to go drink? You want to go do fucking shots at fucking
Vlad's
Bethany's house? I know it's Tuesday. We've got a fucking...
It's Tequila Tuesday.
We've got a fucking spelling test tomorrow. We've got a fucking Spanish quiz, but you want to go fucking blaze up at Jeremy's house?
I'm feeling attacked here, Salem.
Yeah, no, it's just... random example.
Just completely random example.
Yeah, no, I'm not
I'm
talking
to tell Bethany all about
not talking
this.
about the theater kids.
Oh, really? We're gonna go there now.
What?
My kinfolk.
What? Black box? What? Huh? What about the theater
These are
room?
good people. Shut up. We're not going there.
No, we're not. We're just talking about how they're all fucking hoodlums.
Not as bad as the band kids.
No, dude. Honestly, I'm sad I didn't get to be a theater kid.
It was
I should have been.
an interesting experience. You know what's funny too is I always thought it was funny because there was those two big groups in the arts department. You know, there was all the band kids and there's all the theater kids.
Right. Which band kids are notorious for being fucking insane.
Fuck all insane, dude. Like I always tell people whenever I was in high school, I tell people like new kids, like, oh, the band kids, yeah, they're the nicest. They're usually the nicest, sweetest people, you know, most harmless that you'll absolutely meet.
Right.
But they're fucking insane. Like they will make no sense. Don't try to decipher anything that they're saying to each other because it's not going to come out right.
Right.
Like it's like you have to
They've
be
got their own language.
yeah, you have to be a part of band to like really like, and that's something I always understood. So I always kind of just like, nope, that's cool.
I'm gonna avoid
Y'all
that
do
crew.
your thing, yeah. But there was so much drama I overheard about that group because there was so many
Tight-knit
like
circle.
interrelationships and like it was just
Dude, apparently band kids fuck.
no. That I talked to a reliable source.
let me dispel this
A
rumor
reliable source from the River City band actually did tell me that they used to refer to band camp as mating season.
now. Wow.
Yeah,
That was a real guttural wow that came out
that
of my
was
body.
a true Owen Wilson. Wow,
That was really involuntary. That just happened. Mating season.
yeah.
You never think, like, man, when I get to high school, I'm going to be the best trumpet player. And then I'm going to fucking clap some cheeks.
And the best part about it, it's all in rhythm too. When they did,
Do you think the one
there's a
kid,
metronome in the room,
one,
and it's his nuts.
it's fucking
Counselor comes in. Good time, Larry. And just
hell yeah, baby. And there's a fucking drum team. Do you think they drum on girls' asses
You know, I
with two dicks?
like. You know, I can't imagine what they would probably go through over
There's
there.
got to be orgies
you know.
at band camp, right?
You know, there's just got to be now. It's just got to be. That's just my headcanon now. But funny enough, in theater, we didn't have crazy shit like that.
That's true.
We didn't really have crazy shit. Like we didn't like.
I feel like it was just a very tight knit group of people.
It was just a group of people that you can be absolutely just fuck all stupid with.
Yeah.
Like and just like be completely nonsensical and
Right.
just
Which, I mean, anyone who wants to be an actor, you have to be like that. Because
Exactly.
acting is fucking terrifying.
yeah, exactly. I mean that's what our drama teacher at River City, Mr. Duff, used to always say to the beginners class, because the beginners are always the hardest to get them out of their shell. You know?
Right.
You can immediately tell who's there because they needed a
Like an elective.
an elective
Yeah.
done, and who was there because they weren't theater, or who was there because
Right.
ceramics had been taken up. You know.
Right.
And that's what he'd always tell him, you know, is like when you walk into the theater, like you gotta leave your cool cat, your cool kid hat outside,
Right.
you know, like in here, like you gotta let yourself be stupid because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just gonna look even more stupid.
Yeah.
And those were the people I hated the most in theater class, were the ones that didn't try,
Yeah.
or the ones that were just too embarrassed. It's like, dude, we're all up there being a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
like
It's the most awkward thing in the world. Like, hey, go perform this, like, lightweight, pretentious thing in front of
Yeah.
all these people that you just talked about, drawing elephants on their ass 2 seconds ago.
exactly, yeah. Like you can be super stupid with your friends, but as soon as you're in front of everyone else, it's like it's different. But there it
Yeah.
shouldn't be, because it's like that's like the most relieving part of it is when you get rid of that. Like when you stop like being worried about embarrassing yourself,
Right.
and you're really able to just do whatever the fuck you want. Like it's hilarious. That's why I loved advanced drama, because those are only the people that were serious about drama.
Right.
And that class was a shit ton of fun because it was just a bunch of people just bullshitting,
Having
honestly.
fun,
yeah,
yeah.
just having fun on stage, just making up complete, absolute nonsense.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that makes me the most sad about high school, obviously, other than realizing my sexuality and gender too late. On top of that,
Yeah.
just about the experience is, I was like, if this is anything that goes to show, you and all the people I was friends with, who were they? The theater kids.
Yeah.
What did I do after school? sports.
Yeah, you
And it
did
was
not.
the fucking worst.
Yeah, you did. I was surprised that you were never involved in theater.
Honestly,
because
I wanted to be super bad, but I grew up in a sports family, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, I wasn't forced to play, but it was sort of like if I didn't, I'd kind of have nothing in common with my family.
Yeah.
Would be letting the people down. So it was unfortunate. And there was even that time I was supposed to perform with you guys. I think somebody got sick, and I was supposed to do, it was like a Humpty Dumpty courtroom drama or some shit. And I was supposed to perform, and then I chickened out because I didn't have that connection, and I was so worried. And that's one of my biggest regrets, was not doing it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how a lot of people get into it. Like I know you never did, and that sucks. But I mean, you're here now,
Yeah.
And this here I would consider a
I'm
form
clearly
of like
performative,
performance
yeah.
art, and
I'm
like
a fucking wrestler, for fuck's sake.
exactly.
I mean-
Yeah, you were doing your own acting in a different way. I was doing dramas, you were doing action movies. That's what it was,
Essentially,
And it's weird because when I didn't think I was gonna get into acting either. I
Right.
never had that thought. It was just I followed my sister. She was like a sophomore at the time, I think, and it was my freshman year. And we were both getting the same ride home, and she needed to go to an audition. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll follow her. And she was just like, hey, do you want to audition with me? Fuck it,
Why not?
like I'm here, whatever. And I ended up really liking it, and Duff ended up really liking me.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting on the fucking casts.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm taking drama class. I'm in every production for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Start doing comedy theater, and it's just like, it's definitely something that as soon as you kind of give yourself into it,
Right.
and you just kind of let yourself get enveloped into it. It's addicting.
Right.
Like I feel like a fish out of water, man. I miss the stage so much.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could perform again. It was really good.
When I think
Really good
that's
time.
something that kind of, to what I just said now, where it's like now I'm wrestling, and it's weird how similar they are, because
Oh, they're almost the exact same thing.
and it's like, obviously there's a lot of athletics and stunts involved,
Mm-hmm.
and no one, I'll never let anybody take that away, because it is a dangerous thing we do, but
It is, yeah.
it is a predetermined thing. We are there to sell story and entertainment.
Exactly.
And when I grab the microphone and I'm cutting a promo, that's it'd be like,
It's a monologue.
yeah, but imagine if they said, hey, you have a monologue today, but we're not going to tell you what it is. It's a terrifying.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah,
That's
but
hella
it's
fun.
awesome because it's the best form of character acting, because one of my things, and I'm not this, big veteran professional wrestler, but I've been doing this shit, decent amount of time. I've been around the block, so to speak. So one thing when younger wrestlers than me ask me questions, I say is, when you're cutting, because the moves are moves. Moves are things you do, and that's how you get there. But the important part is the story. You can do 40 backflips, but if I don't give a shit why you're doing them, who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
It's just like watching Daredevil. Like, it's cool that he's doing all the punches, but if I don't care about Matt Murdock, cool, Daredevil dies. Oh well. But I'm like, oh no, he's not going to.
There's no connection.
Exactly. So what I tell people is, everyone wants to have these crazy characters and da-da-da. The best wrestling characters are ones that are extensions of yourself, right? When I'm in there, I'm myself just turned to 10. I'm a vicious, mean fucking bitch. Because in real life, when I'm pissed off, I'm a mean, vicious fucking bitch. You know what I mean? So now I'm in there. I'm not, evil incarnate, and I'm come from the depths of hell. I'm just a pissed off goth bitch who's slapping you around because she's mad she has to be here. You know what I mean? And that's my favorite thing in the world. And I'm same like you said. You miss the stage. I miss the ring. I miss getting to bring that to people. And my favorite thing in the world is watching some new person's parents freak out because they just beat me, because I've been beating up their kid all night and they got one over on me. And now some old grandma's fucking cheering for their daughter or their kid because they won. That's it for me.
That's the show. Yeah, that's why you do it, to give people a good show, and that person just got a great show.
I tell everyone, and people think I'm a bad person, my favorite thing in the world is pissing off groups of kids. I
told
fuck
me
with
about
kids
this.
so much, because at the end of the night when I lose, or at the end of the feud, at some point when the bad guy loses, that they're I remember I beat the owner of a company for his belt, his championship, and I found out there was a kid's birthday party there. Oh my fucking God, did I not ruin these kids' lives? I was putting him in submissions and fucking flexing and pointing at the kids laughing. They're crying, freaking out. I won the belt. I'm in their parents' faces holding up the belt and shit. I got told, hey, you can't leave the locker room until everyone's cleared out because there's parents looking to kick your ass. I was like, fuck yeah, let him have it. I was so excited because I know eventually when this story turns and whatever good guy eventually comes and does the job and gets that belt, these kids are going to lose their minds. And that's exactly what happened. A few months later, I was, facing the hometown hero. Half of these kids that I find out are like, he's their like karate coach or some shit.
Oh shit.
And, I'm talking shit the whole time. Like, this he's never going to do it. Da, da, da. And finally I miss and he gets the shot, the 1, 2, 3. And you see, I have the video, just the whole fucking room stands up. And I'm like, that's why I do it. I don't give a fuck about winning. Who cares? It's not real. Who cares?
Exactly.
It's not real. I care that all of these people are on their feet cheering and all of them are going to go buy t-shirts and that goes into my pocket.
Because they hate you.
Because they hate me. And now they all own shirts and they all are sitting in chairs of money that's going into my pocket.
Oh, see, and that's what's really important. It's funny is because that's what I was thinking about with we were talking about The Last of Us Part 2 earlier.
Yeah,
is for there to be a really good, conflict, you have to like both sides for different reasons,
right?
And like, I never hate a character in television. I love that I hate them.
Right.
Because like when I was talking about Warrior, like there's certain characters in there that are just absolute scumbags, but the character is just so good, and like I love that I hate them so much and that the actor is able to portray them in such a way where I just like, I want to see them get their fucking face punched off. So that when their face does get punched off, it's it's so much more satisfying.
Right.
Than if they were just like, oh, bad guy, like they just be just like any other extra that got their ass handed to them.
Right.
There is no real.
They're not making you feel anything.
Exactly. But like when the actor's able to really like make that bad guy like pop off the screen and like really give me a reason to really hate him, and it just makes the end so much more satisfying.
Right.
And that's equally as important as a good protagonist,
Yeah. And I think that's why there's so many, we have a lot of heroes and protagonists we look at throughout history, but I think some of the biggest things that keep us coming back are antagonists.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect example is The Walking Dead. That's a show that's died in my heart so many times because I can't watch people walk around a fucking field for 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And then Negan happened. And that was the first time in like a few years where I was genuinely interested in coming back to the show because Jeffrey Dean Morgan's a super talented actor. And I was like, this guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he's so fucking charismatic and good to watch. And you hate that you're enjoying it. You hate that he's fun, but he's also a piece of shit and he's murdering people, but you're also like, fuck, he's kind of cool. So you're like, God damn it. And you're feeling something. Whereas someone like, what's his name? The Governor, I think from season 3. That's an example of a guy who was a bad guy.
Just overall, like,
he was Lotso Huggenbear from Toy Story 3. He was just
exactly.
I had more investment in that character.
Yeah,
this like honestly kind of racist, hates toys fucking guy. I was like, fuck, dude, he's making me feel shit. Whereas this guy's like, well, I don't like people because we are the Walking Dead. And you're just like,
what? Who said that?
What? Hey, my daughter.
She's dead.
Well, I
tore some of her hair out earlier.
I got an eye patch.
My good guy? Nope, I'm still bad.
No, I'm bad. I'm gonna shoot.
I stabbed the shit out of them.
And you're just like, I don't buy it.
When is this guy gonna die?
All right. Oh, he's dead? Cool.
Okay, fuck.
All right, cool. Oh, he killed like 3 characters I love? I didn't feel fucking anything.
Oh, hey, Negan. Oh, God, Glenn.
Oh, God, Glenn, please. No. Oh, no.
Spoilers for The Walking Dead.
It's been like 10 years.
Been aware yet.
Yeah, if you haven't watched, hey, hurry up.
I didn't even watch that episode, and I still know that happened.
If you haven't watched that, you're not going to.
Nope.
For being honest.
But yeah, no, that's always what gets me coming back is a good villain. And when I'm even in the stuff that I write, because I still write here and there, like I'm working on some like little like stories and stuff.
Right.
But I always spend like 10 times more time on the antagonist than I do the protagonist, because I feel like the protagonist is easy to make. It's easy to make a protagonist that connects with the main character.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, with the audience.
Projection.
Yeah, especially because, you know, if you're going to be following them the whole story, that alone will immediately, you know, draw that connection with them. But like, I feel like a lot more has to go into the antagonist to give them, because I think a good antagonist has to have good motive,
right?
You know, unless you're the Joker, and that's why I think the Joker is just so fucking beautiful as a character, because he doesn't have fuck all for motive. He just fucks shit up, but he's still an amazing character somehow. But yeah, that's what I think is what makes a good antagonist, is a good motive. You know, it's something where like you can kind of listen to him talk, you know, explain his side of the story and go, you know, I kind of get it.
Right.
You know, I think I kind of understand where you're coming from here. And so it's that moral conflict, you know, and that's what we're talking about with Last of Us Part 2, is that's what really makes a good story. I think, and a good ending, a good climax is some kind of conflict.
Yeah.
Internally, just as much as there's externally.
And that game is a perfect example. I don't know your plans on playing it, but
I do. I have a $50 GameStop power card I got a year ago. Then I'm still waiting to.
I know you have a ton of info, but I'll try not to spoil any more, you know, of it. But that game is a perfect example of hating someone so much for a single action, but then being like, well, I mean, if it were me, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a perfect example is recently I rewatched, I had Disney Plus for a while, and I've been going through all the Marvel phases because there's a lot of ones I missed, especially in Phase 3. I finally saw Ragnarok.
Oh, wow.
God, Ragnarok was fucking incredible.
Is not my favorite Thor movie, but a good movie.
Interesting, really?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I got very strong opinions on Thor.
I loved Ragnarok, and I'm sad it took me very long. I'm Black Panther and Guardians 2 is next on my list.
You haven't seen either of those?
I haven't seen either of those.
Oh, man. Well, if you like Lion King, you're going to like Black Panther. Because I tell people this all, not a reason to not watch it. It's still an amazing movie. It's done really well. It's really colorful. Let me know when you get to the rhinos, because that CGI is ass. But not as bad as Cavill's lip. But it's basically Lion King superhero edition.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what
I
it
tell
is.
everyone, I'm like, I think that was the reason I've waited it for so long, was culturally it's not for me. So I'm going to judge it as a film. And I think that's the inherent problem with judging the movie as a film, is that that's not what it did. That's not the important piece of it.
Yeah, it was the
Black
cultural
Panther
impact.
had a cultural impact. As a Marvel film, it's a Marvel movie with, you know, like I said, I haven't watched it, but I heard Michael B. Jordan has a great performance, but like no shit. But you know, it's a Marvel movie. They do Marvel shit.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends. But what it did was for the culture, and the culture is not mine. So I'm not going to feel that impact that a lot of people, other people of color, you know, are going to feel.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
if they have a fucking Mexican superhero or a trans superhero, and it's the same formula, I'm going to feel that. And people that Black Panther was for probably aren't going to feel that. At least not, you know, the cultural aspect. Trans people are going to feel trans.
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, bro. I'm waiting for it. My people, man. 100% Asian cast. You know, fuck yes, dude.
Yeah, dude. Disney's Mulan. I'm just kidding.
Never watched it.
I don't think anybody did. But you know, that's kind of why, because I'm going to watch it as a movie, not as a cultural, you know,
landmark.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think I avoided it for so long. And I think now that it's done what it's done for the culture, I think now I can just watch it and enjoy it as a movie, because I wanted people...
It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a good movie.
No, but it, you know, it's a Marvel. Like I said, it's a phase.
You know how it's going to go. It's a Marvel movie.
Marvel things are going to happen, and then the movie's going to end. Especially because it came out before Infinity War, I think, right?
Yes.
Definitely before Endgame. So like that was the time where any superhero movie that came out, I was like, there's no stakes in this, because no one's going to die, because the biggest one is about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like they're going to kill off like Ant-Man and Black Panther.
And then it's like, well, fuck me. Yeah. So, but now that I'm making my way through, I definitely want to watch it. But I was rewatching all of, you know, a lot of the movies, and I wanted to watch Infinity War and Endgame back to back.
Yes.
And I did, and you know, I'm we've all talked about this a million times, but Thanos really was a perfect example, especially coming from the Marvel culture, where they're pretty infamous for having a villain problem of like bad guys show up to do bad guy thing. Now they don't have, I mean, this is a superhero problem in general because DC does this sometimes too. Of bad guys show up, big laser in the sky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boom, bad, I'm evil, die.
I am show up, big laser, sky laser, explode world. Just kidding.
Yes,
I die. And Thanos was a good example of like, not only someone where you're like, you don't agree with what he's trying to do, but you can see that he's fully convinced he's the hero of his own story.
Exactly. And that's what it is. It's not that he's right, it's that he's convinced that he's right.
Yeah.
And you can't argue that with people.
No.
I mean, you can try, but like it's
you can try and say he's like delusional, but it's like he genuinely believes. He's like, I mean, it's fuck. He says it himself. He's like, that's fucked up, but I mean,
it's got to be done.
When it happens, everyone's going to live positively. And then one of the things I actually didn't catch the first time I watched the movie was in Endgame when, obviously spoilers for Endgame and Infinity War. If you haven't seen them, why?
Yeah, come on, catch up.
But in Endgame, they kill Thanos at the very beginning, obviously.
Yes, I love that scene.
It's so good. But then, you're thinking, what the fuck? And then later you find out 2014 Thanos comes back.
Yes.
And he's like, I guess I did it. He's like, sick. But then one of my favorite things that I didn't see the first time I saw it because I was just in complete euphoria of this experience was when Tony, Cap, and Thor confront him right before like the big fight. He's like, thank you for showing me that, I was wrong, because if I wipe out half the universe, there's going to be half a universe left of ungrateful pieces of shit. So now I'm going to fucking kill everybody and start my own shit.
Yep.
And so you're almost thinking like, when he says like, thanks for showing me I was wrong, you're kind of like, oh, what the fuck? And then he's like, I was wrong. I should have killed
Does
everybody.
a complete
like,
turn.
God damn it.
I should have been a bigger asshole.
You know what I mean? It's just like, God, it's such good character work of this guy who genuinely thinks like, yes, wiping out everybody is the problem or is the answer to the problem. And when he realizes it's the wrong thing to do, it's not because it's wrong to kill people. It's wrong to not kill all the people.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's what it is. And it's see, Thanos is a good example of like if every villain that they did in every Marvel movie was able to have a Thanos treatment, like more than one episode. I mean, not episode, movie kind of thing. I feel like they'd all turn out that well, honestly.
Right.
Quick little side note I wanted to make about Thanos, though. Something I realized after watching the movie was, couldn't he use... His whole thing was he wanted to use the Infinity Gauntlet to get rid of half the population, right? So that existing half can't survive off of the resources that were left, right? Because the whole thing was like resources are depleting, that kind of situation. Why couldn't you just make more resources?
That's the thing, right? You think that, and you're like, well, I'm a rational person. I think that. But I think he's a dictator.
Yeah, that's where the aspect of like they make sense, but they're crazy.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
And he's like a war general. So the way he knows to solve problems is to kill people.
Murder.
They say even before he had the idea of getting the stones, he would just go single-handedly, not single-handedly, but with his army planet to planet.
That's true. He was doing. That's how he found Gamora.
So he was already doing this shit. Now he's just like, oh, I can fucking speed up the process.
That's a good point. Yeah,
let's do it.
So he was already stuck in that mindset for a minute. So
the answer to him, no matter before he found this gauntlet or not, is, hey, half of y'all gotta go.
Yeah,
and he even justifies it by being like, that's fair. Anybody can go.
That's true.
Except the main Avengers.
It's completely random
because we got to complete the arc. So
that's
original
true.
Avengers can't go, but that's fine.
Yeah. No, man. And see that and I don't think there are some villains that definitely stand out to me in the Marvel universe. The one specifically, and it's purely honestly because of just the actor's performance alone. But I think Ultron doesn't get enough attention.
Really? He doesn't.
The character of Ultron, Age of Ultron, was fucking... to be honest, I think most of it goes to James Spader's performance.
Right.
Because James Spader is just so... He's he's like a Shakespearean actor, you know? Like he delivers his lines with such intensity, and it's
He's
just
such a good cadence to him.
yes. I loved him as Robert California in The Office. I don't know if you ever got that far into The Office.
I finished The Office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember his character?
I can't.
He's like near the very end. He's just like a womanizing, like all of his like metaphors and stuff revolve around sex. And, like, he's so good in that fucking show because he's so good in everything. It's just the way he delivers his lines is just remarkable.
Apparently, a lot of people didn't like Age of Ultron.
Why not?
I think the main issue I've seen online is people compare it to all the Avengers films, which I think, as far as impact goes, nostalgically, it is the weakest because the first one's always going to have the stigma of being the first Avengers. It was like, holy shit, this is a thing that can happen. That jumpstarts superhero movies.
This happens to all like number twos of trilogies, though. You know, the number two's always overlooked.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something I wanted to touch on when we talk more about the Thor trilogy.
No, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, the first one really kicked off the era of superhero films, the first Avengers, and then Endgame and Infinity War are pretty much one and the same.
Yeah,
technically. So when you think about it, yeah, Age of Ultron sort of is that second movie, and I think that's what people look at it as like, oh yeah, it was the second one that was just kind of fun and happened. But I thought it was awesome. I loved Age of Ultron.
I loved Age of Ultron. I thought it was awesome. The villain is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
that they've
and I
done.
don't like that people. I know Marvel does have a quipping problem. They do. There are times where it gets on my nerves too. But I don't like that people were like, why is the villain got to be funny? Because the idea is that he's made by Tony Stark.
Exactly. You know? He has his smart assness,
right.
You know, and yeah. No, and I thought it was a fit for his character because it's essentially an evil Tony Stark, Bruce Banner brain baby, you know? And anyone that's supposed to take any kind of like likeliness to Tony Stark is going to be kind of a smartass,
exactly.
You know? And yeah, and it's when they started giving it to everyone is when that became an issue, and that was one of my gripes with, to bring it back full circle, Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
is I don't feel like it was a Thor movie. I think there was Thor 1 and Thor 2, and I think there was Ragnarok. Because it's just that. Well, what did you think of it? Let's go. You just watched it. What did you think of it?
I completely agree. I don't think it was a Thor movie, but the reason I liked it so much was, you look at Thor, especially in the early films, Thor 1 and 2 specifically, he is very much the fish out of water guy who throws coffee mugs and yells another, you know, sort of guy. He didn't really have his humor came from the fact that he was this arrogant god from fish out of water.
It wasn't something that was being pushed. It was something that came naturally from his own character.
And I think it's weird because I'm kind of torn on it because I feel like him spending so much time on Earth and spending so much time around the Avengers, there would be that natural progression of humanization with him.
Yeah. Because
he would start to learn that, you know, he is a god, but he also is one of the Avengers and he is a protector. He's one of Earth's mightiest heroes. So I like that they did kind of start making him feel like part of the crew, but I think it inherently comes with the issue that everyone became Tony Stark. Right?
Yep.
And that is not just a problem that's indicative of Thor, but of every character in the MCU. Yes. Everyone is as funny and quippy as Tony Stark, to the point where they're in life or death situations. And
everyone has a joke to
jokes.
Say.
Hey, yo. I get it when they're like, you know, like a perfect example, I think it's the beginning of Civil War, where they're like in that mission in the snow.
Language.
Yeah, but that's one where it's like, I'm okay with situations like, is it Civil War? Am I on the right path?
With what?
Where they're the language.
Oh, yeah, it was Civil War.
And that's one where I'm okay with it because it feels like something like that where they're just taking on Hydra to stop them from stealing the nuclear fucking whatever. It feels like a whatever mission because to the Avengers who have fought
save the world,
universe, gods, and planets, that's like another day at the office.
That's true.
So, but when they're fighting the guy who they have definitively said, if he gets all of these stones and he's halfway there, will wipe out half of humanity, and they're like, haha, what about fucking buttholes? It's like, okay, thanks, Black Widow. You know what I mean?
Helpful as always, Natasha.
But do you know what I mean? Like, it starts to become kind of a problem where you're like, okay, he's going to rip your fucking face off by, touching his fucking, nipples.
Mm-hmm. His infinity nipples.
And he rubs his infinity tits and, half the world comes and shits.
At the same time.
At the same time, baby. That threw me off so bad.
You did that to yourself.
Yeah, I did. But you know what I mean? Like, it's a problem that I think specifically in Phase 3 really became super prominent.
Yeah, because
every fucking line is ha fucking funny fart.
Yeah, which sucks. And I wouldn't mind it if it was more offset with more like a bit more mature things, but we're not going to get that with Disney because when was you just said you were going through and you're watching all the Marvel Universe movies. When was the last time you watched Iron Man 1?
It's been a long time, but I did rewatch. I'm planning on, because I'm going in reverse order. Because it's hard to go back because Phase 1, there's a lot of movies that are just really fucking boring. But I think I remember Iron Man 1 really specifically, especially because I've revisited through like video essays. That had a lot of more mature themes in it, I think.
Dude, if you go from watching Iron Man like 3 or even just like Spider-Man Homecoming or like something farther on down the line and watch Iron Man 1 in comparison, it's so much grittier than the rest. And because if I'm not mistaken, that was before Disney got its fucking claws into it.
That was before they bought that was a while before they bought the licensing.
Yeah, and it was like one scene I remember specifically was the scene where he's breaking out with his Mark 1 out of the cave, and this terrorist just walks right up to him with a gun to his head and pops off a round, comes off, gets the terrorist right back in the fucking dome. It's like you don't see that shit like that in the movies anymore because they realize that it's more for a child audience now, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
because
I think they realize it's more. It's not necessarily just for a child audience. They recognize that they have a lot of adult fans.
Yes.
But I think they recognize also, too, that there's a lot of money to be made with a child audience. Because it is for everyone. Like I go to a Marvel movie and enjoy it still.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's definitely a lot more family friendly.
Yeah, and that's why I liked how they had the movies. They had their mainstream media, which was obviously the movies, and everything that they still got going for them. But then they also had kind of their offshoot, like rated more TVMA stuff, like Daredevil and Punisher on Netflix. Like that
stuff is not for kids.
Yeah, I wanted them to keep that going for sure. I want them to bring back Punisher, Daredevil, fuck everything else. I'm not even going to mention them by name.
You don't like Jessica Jones?
I do not like Jessica Jones. I don't like Luke Cage.
I
don't like
understand.
Iron Fist for all very different reasons.
I understand not liking Jessica Jones because I think the character of Jessica Jones
she is so fucking annoying.
Really annoying.
I can't stand it. I can't stand the bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they just. I think not only does that actor, she got typecast as.
The bitch, the sassy bitch,
I'm pretty sure she was in a show called The Bee in Apartment 23. So
of course.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure she's known for playing kind of a standoffish bitch. But also, they really tried to like girl bossify her.
Oh,
like,
God.
She's an independent girl who she drinks and fights, and she's not your mom's superhero.
Oh, God.
And it's like, yeah, but she's an asshole.
Yes, like I don't.
Doesn't make it any more fun to watch the fact that she's kind of a cunt.
It's like, oh, this person that I'm supposed to be rooting for and like standing behind is kind of a fucking bitch, and I don't like them as a person.
Luke Cage had the opposite problem. I don't know if you watched it.
Barely. I could not get into it. It was
the problem with Luke Cage is that Luke Cage has no fucking character.
None.
And it sucks because Cottonmouth is one of the best fucking villains in any Marvel thing that's been put
Blade?
To film. Dude, what I can't remember the actor's name, but he is so goddamn talented.
He is.
And Cottonmouth is amazing. And spoilers, but halfway through the show, he's not there anymore. And the show is a fucking slog after that point. It is the worst thing they did, and I will not watch season 2. And also, no one watched Iron Fist.
Nope. See, you're nailing it all so far. Like, I didn't like Jessica Jones because the character was too much. The character was a bitch. Also, what the fuck are her powers? What can she do?
Strong.
And also jump super fucking high, apparently.
Apparently, super strength comes with jump high.
I guess you got the hands.
Inherently, that would make sense.
That's why people don't talk about it, but Hulk is actually super fast.
Yeah.
By the way.
Makes sense.
Like, do you remember that scene in the first Hulk movie with Banner? where like he's in the desert and he's just fucking sprinting at 100 miles per hour.
He's just fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
I'm kind of glad they didn't go with that anymore.
It's fucking terrifying.
Maybe not put that to film.
But what was I saying? Yeah, her powers. I didn't get that. Luke Cage, his shit was way too flat. You know,
he just doesn't have any character.
He really didn't. They didn't flesh him out well enough. And then also, Iron Fist, I didn't like because
he's just a bad superhero. I feel like
it was a. Yeah, it kind of was because
isn't he kind of racially insensitive?
Yeah, it's the fucking mighty whitey man, like coming in and like knowing how to do martial arts better than the Asian characters. There's a scene where he walks into an Asian character's dojo and starts fucking running it for them, just like schooling the kids that are being dipshits and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, but the worst part about it is like they can't even justify any of it with any good martial arts scenes because it's fucking jump scene galore, dude.
Oh,
it's just
no. It's
jump
like a
cut
Taken
after
movie?
jump cut just to cover up
Yikes.
the fact that these actors don't know what the fuck they're doing for a character whose whole thing is martial arts.
Well, and that's so sad coming from the people who have put Daredevil on screen.
Exactly. And Daredevil's fights, like you could just take the hallway fight in season 1 of Daredevil and put it like next to any other fucking scene in Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where is the why?
Yeah.
What's like?
Well, even
what?
like because we talked last time you came over, we talked about the hallway fight, and obviously those are pretty. You know, they stand out pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But rewatching the series, dude, they did not get enough credit for every fight scene.
Oh no,
there's so many there's a lot of rooftop fights. Like there's the one with Punisher the first time it happens. There's the one where Frank Castle's in prison. That fucking
that
fight
scene
does
is one of my
not get
favorite.
enough credit. And then there's one where Daredevil and Elektra are taking on the Hand and Nobu on the rooftop.
On the roof, yeah.
That fucking scene is buck nasty, my dude, and nobody talks about it. That fucking show's fight choreography does not get enough credit. It's really ridiculous.
It doesn't. And where the fuck were they for Iron Fist?
What happened?
They were out in the
got
corner.
Fired.
Yeah, no, dude, they were all dead or something because they were not around for that show at all. And
Put
it's
it
a
this
fucking
way:
shame.
the way I got Iron Fist explained to me was that basically somebody I knew watched it and they were like, "Yeah, there's a character. I think it's his brother or something," and they kind of introduce him and are like, "Yeah, this is what I've been doing." And I was way more interested in what the fuck he had been doing off screen than what the fuck was actually going on. And Iron Fist is so uninteresting, I couldn't watch Defenders because of it.
It really is. Honestly, he really is because there's not. I mean, like I haven't read a lot of Iron Fist comics.
Yeah.
I've read some things. Most of the things I read though about Iron Fist included Daredevil.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like it was like a supplementary thing. I could never get behind Iron Fist, man. He just seemed a little too bland for me. And his whole like interdimensional fucking Shaolin shit and like the spirit of the dragon and all that. And you know what it was? I think it's mostly because I'm just offended by the white guy.
Yeah, the fact that all this ancient martial arts and chakra ability is put on a man named Danny.
Yeah, Danny Rand. That's his name, Danny Bland.
Jesus Christ, that's awful. Yeah, I'm no thanks about that.
Yeah, no, it's and that's why I'm feeling both good and bad about. They just finished wrapping up filming for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay,
which is
I know nothing about what that means.
Nothing about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's whole thing because Iron Fist he knows all the martial arts. Plus he has the Iron Fist.
Right,
it's the punch that can practically go through he's punched through dimensions and shit in the comics.
Jesus.
So yeah, he does some crazy shit, but Hulk can do it too because he's Hulk. But he does some crazy shit with that they never really show. I think the most he's done is like crack a floor.
Nice
bullshit.
And beat up some kids.
Yeah, punch Luke Cage in the face. Whatever. But the thing is with Shang-Chi is he doesn't really have any power. Later on he gains the powers, I think, to like multiply himself, which makes it even cooler. The fact that his whole thing is he is just a master of every martial art known to man. If they don't nail that with the fight choreography, and they go like an Iron Fist route with the character that's strictly all martial arts,
no magic involved,
no magic, it's all martial arts, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, especially because I've been on a martial arts binge recently. Yeah, so like,
well, and the fact it's not only just the fact that they blew it with Iron Fist, but the fact that they have shown us they have the capability to film great fight choreography. and then you take a show about martial arts and fuck it up. They're like, yeah, the Catholic lawyer, he's great fight scenes.
Yeah.
But the martial arts man at the martial arts dojo, fuck it. Who filmed
Fuck
Taken?
all.
Get him in here.
Who filmed Taken?
16 cuts, baby. Let's do it. It's like, what the fuck?
5 hours of shooting for a 3-minute long fight. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Hell yeah. We're going to do 25 takes of Liam Neeson jumping over a fence. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But, I'm kind of hoping that they learn from Iron Fist and they learn why it tanked so bad, because the martial arts film audience is there, you know? And we're itching for new shit.
Sometimes we just want to watch Big Punch fight, man.
Exactly. Sometimes I just want to see the fucking Raid, you know? Have you seen the Raid?
No, I've not.
Oh, man.
I love martial arts stuff.
What about Ong Bak?
I have seen Ong Bak.
Okay, good. You've seen Ong Bak.
Yeah. You know what you got to watch?
What?
The Last Dragon.
That's true. I have not watched The Last Dragon.
Brandon hasn't seen The Last Dragon.
I haven't seen The Last Dragon.
It is the greatest martial arts film of all time. At one point, there is a laser light disco ninja fight on the set of the Seventh Heaven dance show.
Yes.
So...
Yeah, I think I'll tune in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is that?
I have it on DVD.
Oh, shit. Sweet.
Right now on Blu-ray and DVD.
Speaking of martial arts, Warrior.
Wait,
Warrior.
I do want to talk about Warrior, but before that, I really want to get your opinion on Thor, because I don't want to jump over that, because I feel like someone's going to yell at us
that's
about
right.
that.
I'm so sorry.
Because I'm really interested, and granted, like I said, I haven't rewatched them yet.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like the first two Thor movies. Well, that's not true. I really liked Thor 2. Everyone else hated
Everyone
Thor 2.
hated Thor 2.
But I did not like Thor 1. I specifically remember that.
I think why a lot of people didn't like Thor 1 was because it wasn't really a Thor movie. There wasn't really a whole lot. There was a lot of Donald Blake, Thor's human counterpart. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Thor swinging around the hammer in his armor. It was
also
him on Earth.
Shitty location, dude.
Yeah, very bland.
Albuquerque?
Yeah. It makes sense though, right?
It was filmed in Albuquerque, right?
Yeah, I think it was in New Mexico.
Or New Mexico.
Yeah, but aliens and stuff like that. So I guess I kind of drew the connection they were trying to make there.
Yeah, that's true. It's such a hard location to film in because it is really bland. Mm-hmm. Also, the Dutch angles. They fucked with Dutch angles in that movie. Man. It's really weird.
The thing is, I'm not going to praise it for its cinematography.
No, I don't think anyone is.
No, the reason why I like Thor so much as a character is because he brought on a very Shakespearean role in kind of the stories. Everyone else was big boom bam haha funny, lasers and fucking all this crazy shit.
Right. Well, who did we get before the first Thor movie? Iron Man was the first one.
Iron Man and Captain America both came before Thor. Wait, no, did Captain America come after Thor?
I don't know.
I think Captain America might have come after Thor.
So Thor was the second one then. Shit.
Iron Man 2 first.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And neither... God, you know what? Someone's going to fact check this, and we're either going to be super right or super wrong.
Point is, mostly we got a lot of Tony Stark before Thor.
Yes, and possibly Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
And so this was more... It's like trying to, compare, watching a bunch of Star Wars movies and then just throwing in Lord of the Rings and the Two Towers, right there in the middle. Right. Because it's a very different vibe, and Thor's character in general and just the world he comes from is just so different from everything else, and it's very fantasy and it's very, formal and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I liked that kind of story, but that's not what people wanted, especially when Thor 2 Dark World came out, because I think that's when that's when Disney started to realize too is, people like the humor, people like the funny stuff, because that's what was missing in Thor 2. Not as much though, because you mentioned how a lot of Thor's humor comes from just the fact that he is this fish out of water. Yeah. And when it's super small, it's super dumb, but it's my favorite scene in Thor 2 is where he comes back to Earth. He's with Jane Foster.
Yeah.
And he comes into Dr. Selvig's apartment, and she's in there, she's talking to him, and he walks to the door, and he looks over at the coat rack next to him. Yeah. And he looks at his hammer. And he just kind of hangs his hammer right there on the coat rack.
Yeah.
There we go, it fits there. That was improvised by him, because he was just I feel like it was just something that Thor would do.
Chris Hemsworth is a guy who doesn't get a lot of credit as an actor, I think.
No, a lot of the stuff in Ragnarok was improvised.
Yeah,
by him.
he's actually a really good comedic actor.
He's a really funny guy.
Yeah.
He's really funny. But the thing is, they really wanted to capitalize on that, unfortunately. And that's what happened in Ragnarok. Everyone had a joke to say. Thor, I felt like, was suddenly like 10 times more human, even though last time we checked, I'm pretty sure he's been flying through the galaxy, just like looking for something. I forgot what it was.
He was looking for the guy's head, wasn't he?
I think he was looking like, I forget how he ended up in Surtur's place, you know?
I don't either, honestly, because I didn't watch whatever came before Ragnarok.
I think that was fuck all.
It was Civil War that came before Ragnarok, wasn't it?
Yes, all I know. Yes, yeah. He disappeared after that. Yeah, and that's what he's been doing the whole time.
I don't remember what the fuck he was doing, but because I didn't like Thor 1 when it came out, and like I said, I want to revisit it, but it definitely felt very Phase 1. It was not a lot of Thor. It was a lot of. I don't think Chris Hemsworth he hadn't gone full haha funny man yet, obviously, but I don't think he'd figured out the balance.
Yeah.
Because there is the fish out of water, but he's kind of unlikable in that movie.
A little bit, yeah.
But the problem, I think the main problem with the first two Thor movies, that the third movie, it still had but didn't have as much was, and this is a Marvel problem in general, is annoying side characters. Jane Foster's friends are the fucking worst people. What's her name? Kat Dennings sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Her character is fucking irritating.
Obvious comic relief. You know, it wasn't very subtle.
But it's not even funny comic relief. She's just annoying, and that's her gimmick. Her gimmick is like,
I'm an irresponsible
I'm not like
teenager.
other girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, do that on your sitcom. Two girls that are broke, or whatever the fuck it's called. But
two broke bitches, whatever.
Yeah, I'm here to watch Thor murder people with a hammer, and you're like, Dr. Fuckface, what are we gonna do with I don't get the science lingo. It's like, cool, I don't give a fuck, man.
Why are you here?
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting thing to watch about the third movie, because I feel like there's a lot of characters in Ragnarok that people love that I did not resonate with. Two prime ones being Valkyrie and what the fuck was his name?
Korg?
No. Korg was just a fucking Taika Waititi being fucking funny.
The thing is, if Korg was the only element of humor in that entire movie, it would have been perfect. It would have been perfect, because it would have been just like Thor, and then like it's like, oh, things are getting kind of heavy, you know, like just put a Korg scene in there.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. If they just kept the scenes with Korg and what's the fucking bug's name? I forget.
I don't remember either.
My name's Korg. I'm made out of rock. Don't let that intimidate you.
It's so good. And it's such a different form. But God, what the fuck was his name? Jeff Goldblum's character.
Oh yeah.
People love it. And this is something I was talking to my ex, who I was dating at the time, when I watched it. It's weird. Jeff Goldblum's at this point that a lot of older actors get to, where he is now allowed to just be fucking Jeff Goldblum in movies that it doesn't call for.
Yeah.
That character should not exist like that. He's just him on set, and I'm like, he's getting paid so much money to show up and be Jeff Goldblum.
To just chuck it up.
And
dude.
honestly,
like,
live your fucking truth, King. Live your life and get your money. But I did not like any time he was on screen, because it felt so out of place. It felt like a fucking like late night sketch.
Yeah.
Like, you know when they do those sketches where they're like a bunch of famous people trying out for some role? Like, oh, this is Melissa McCarthy trying to be Han Solo. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Well, you know what it was too, is I think it's his character could have been confused with being the bad guy, because he was kind of in a bit of a like antagonistic role in the movie,
right?
You know, by like kind of keeping them there and that kind of stuff. But if you were looking at him as just like the prime antagonist, I think it would have been ultimately upsetting. But the thing is, I keep forgetting, is like I think everything that he was doing was kind of it was balanced with Hela's.
Well, that's another problem I had with the movie, was I don't feel like Hela needed to exist. I honestly feel like Ragnarok's a movie that could have benefited from not having a prime antagonist. And that's a problem that Marvel movies have, is they always feel the need to have Red Hulk, essentially. A big foil to the main character. Because if there was no antagonist and it was just like this fun space galaxy, you know, essentially it was Guardians. And I think they were trying it out because Thor's supposed to interact with Guardians a lot now. I think it would have been a lot more fun. But every time you're kind of letting it go and being like, okay, they're being a little silly, but you know, it's different, it's fun. And then they go back to Hela, and everything she's doing feels so disjointed from what's actually happening in the movie. It feels like two movies.
It does, because they don't really, because like they collide in the very beginning, and you go through the entire movie. In the end, the climax is when they come back together again. They really are two different movies.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It is weird, and you see, that's the thing too. Is I thought they were gonna go the Thor versus Hulk route. And I don't know if you know what happens in Thor versus Hulk, but it's an animated where I'm not sure if it's based on a comic book. It probably is, but I remember watching the animated where it's basically Thor. Loki brings Bruce Banner to Asgard, and he separates the two beings of Bruce Banner and Hulk, and just basically sets Hulk loose onto Asgard to just like kickstart Ragnarok and just basically destroy the place.
Jesus,
because it's just Hulk without the Bruce Banner consciousness, you know, so he's just a fucking animal. And the whole thing is like I think Bruce is working with someone to try and find a way to put him back in his body, and then Thor is essentially just trying to keep the Hulk from killing everyone, like the entire movie.
That'd be great.
And I thought that's what they were gonna do, because it's like, okay, yeah, we have Tom Hiddleston, we have, you know, fucking Mark Ruffalo, we have Chris Hemsworth. Like, it sounds like the perfect fucking setup for us. You know, we don't know where Hulk's been this whole time. He's somewhere out in space. Who's to say he doesn't land near Asgard? You know, like, where's Loki? You know, I thought everything was gonna line up to that, and they did this kind of Planet Hulk-ish storyline. I was like, all right. It kind of feels like a lot.
It felt like Taika Waititi, right? It felt like he wanted something like that, and that's what he brought to them, and they said, okay, but who's he gonna fight at the end? And he's like, well, that's not really the point. Like, you know, he's gonna like do this fun space stuff, and it's gonna be like a big character thing, and they're like, yeah. But who's he beat up at the end?
What big name actor can we get in for a one-time role in the movie to immediately help capitalize on this film?
Who are we gonna have on set for a day? And then Thor will beat him up at the end.
Exactly.
And he's like, Google Thor. And then it said Hela, and he's like, you guys heard of Hela? And they're like, love it, Taika. Love it. It's already out. Comes out tomorrow.
Done. You don't even gotta do your job.
Done.
It's written for you.
And he's like, can I still put Korg in there? And they're like,
Fuck
I don't know what that is. Fuck yeah.
Put all the Korgs you want, dude.
You love corks? This guy must love wine. And all right. Hey, it's just like 10 white dudes in a boardroom. Hey, all right.
We don't know shit about comic books.
You can get all the fucking corks you want, Taika, as long as we get this Hela lady you're talking
What's
about.
What's his name? Tyga?
Tigers? All right.
Thanks for having us, Mr. Woods.
I just don't know who this man is.
Nope.
Oh, good fucking lord. Yeah, so it's really unfortunate. Cuz that's a big Marvel problem, is the sort of Red Hulk is the way I put it. Of like villain who is kind of the hero but bad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
that's the problem that they have with Flash in DC, honestly. Who's the Flash gonna be up against this arc? Someone who's just a little faster. Oh shit.
Reverse Flash. I'm sorry. That's the dumbest fucking thing.
That is the dumbest
I've
name
ever heard
in the world.
Who are you? I'm you, but backwards.
Starts jogging backwards.
That's so stupid. What do you think about the... Okay, I want to talk about Warrior, I promise, but I have another superhero question.
We can make this a two-parter. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. What do you think about them doing Flashpoint for the next one?
I don't think it's gonna be real Flashpoint. Is the
You
thing.
don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
It
Because
definitely won't be like the comics or the animated, like, spot on.
Yeah, because for one, like, I mean, you've heard about how they're having Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck in this one.
No.
Yeah, where have you been under a fucking rock? After like I used to come to you with all the Batman news and like.
Wait, Michael Keaton? I thought they were having fucking Jeffrey the Bean Morgan
No.
play Thomas Wayne?
No.
What happened to that? He's in Batman v Superman for 2 seconds.
He
What
is.
happened? Did he say no?
No, it's just no.
He saw the train fall off the tracks and he was like, I don't want to be any part of that.
Maybe they're trying to keep it under wraps because they know how bad we want him. Because they
true.
set it up.
God, he'd be
super
such
well
a good
because
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, he was what everyone was fan casting Thomas Wayne as was Jeffrey D. Morgan, especially after he did Negan, Jeffrey D. Morgan, and they put him in that role, and it's just like, oh, well, come the fuck on, like just gonna put someone like Jeffrey Dean Morgan into a 5-second role.
Him as Thomas Wayne and Maggie from The Walking Dead as Joker Mom.
She would be perfect. Yeah, I think it'd be
I don't
amazing.
know why I didn't know her name was Martha Wayne for 5 seconds.
There it
brain
is.
fart, but
how can you forget the name Martha, man?
somebody said they liked that, and I said, get off the planet. They were like, honestly, I liked that. I never thought of that. And I was like, that's because you're a fucking
It's
idiot.
because writers for comic books back then were lazy and stupid.
Why'd you say that name? We saw that movie together.
We did.
We recorded a 4-hour
As
podcast
soon as we got
about
back, it was like, what the fuck just
what
happened?
God, Jesus.
Oh, shit, what was I talking about, though?
Flashpoint.
Oh, Flashpoint. Yeah. Yeah, no Jeffrey D. Morgan. Instead, what they're having is Ben Affleck reprise his role as Batman.
Right.
And Michael Keaton reprise his role as Batman as well.
Okay. So they're going sort of a Batverse angle.
I would think what they're trying to establish is that all the Batmen that we've seen on screen up to this point have been part of a collective multiverse.
Wow.
And they're having Michael Keaton in.
That could be interesting.
Right?
Hey, guys. I'm gonna let you in on a little insider trading.
Oh.
Still don't know what that means.
Super illegal.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like the thing that everyone's saying about the Spider-Verse movie.
Uh-huh.
It's
Sorry, did you see me become a 4-year-old girl again?
The force from that nod sent me aback.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's basically they got Ben Affleck and they got Michael Keaton, and I think it'd be fucking amazing if they were able to get Christian Bale in there.
Oh
and then, like, could you imagine if they had
what was his name? Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer, George Clooney.
Clooney.
Oh my god, the bat nipples.
Adam West is dead, right?
Adam West is super dead.
Well, Paul Walker was dead, and they got him. So that was a bad way to put that.
Carrie Fisher was dead.
She was kind of dead before the movie before she died. So,
but
she was dead for the last 3 movies.
Yeah, pretty much. But
someone gonna get mad about that. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's what's looking at right now in terms of Flashpoint. Like, I don't know if they're gonna have the whole war between Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
I fucking highly doubt it
And,
because
yeah.
there's not enough character development there.
No, no.
So here's the thing: I did not see Aquaman because it looked
Salem.
dumb. I heard it's really weird.
Salem.
And I heard it's buck nasty. But basically what it equated to was like, this isn't your dad's Aquaman.
Salem, I watched
Oh no.
10 minutes. if even that. At most 10 minutes of this movie. I made it through, I think, like, I didn't even get to grown up Aquaman yet. I was still going through his backstory as a child. And there comes a scene. I don't give a fuck about spoilers because fuck this movie. Like, if you were excited to watch Aquaman, I'm not to spoil it for you. I hope I do, because you can go fuck yourself.
I hope you never see your kids again.
I hope your kids never learn to read.
I hope your kids grow up with bad personalities.
So what happened is he's at a fucking aquarium for like a field trip or some shit, and these kids start picking on him in front of like this shark tank. Which, first of all, there are no sharks in aquariums, or great white sharks at least, for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this one had a fucking great white shark out of nowhere.
Risk, baby.
And this kid starts bullying him, and this shark tries to defend Aquaman by repeatedly just smashing into the glass.
Jesus
just
Christ.
Back and forth, swimming backwards, which fish don't fucking do, by the way.
Did no one watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Fucking apparently not. Dreams. I made that reference at a party like 2 weeks ago,
Good.
and someone got it,
Yes.
and I almost shit my pants.
You almost shit and came.
Shit and cum?
Shit and cum.
Shit and cum.
To quote the late great Eric Maxwell, you almost shit and cummed.
You almost just shouldn't come. What the fuck were we talking about?
Aquaman.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah, we usually talk about Aquaman, talk about shit and cum.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I made it 10 minutes in.
Well,
and then I quit.
Well,
I
you know what
heard
the natural progression is, because we're content creators, is we not only have to watch it, but also make a commentary track about it.
Oh my god! See, the thing is, I don't even know how the rest of the movie is because I didn't make it past the first 10 minutes.
I want to find out.
And I returned it to fucking Redbox that day.
Hell
I didn't
yeah.
want it in my house.
I didn't want it anywhere near me. It was cursed.
I got rid of that shit and I watched Daredevil instead.
And that's exactly why they're not going to do Aquaman versus Wonder Woman.
Yep.
There's no. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we saw Justice League together, did we?
No, I don't think we did.
But you saw it, right?
Oh, I saw Justice League. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Aquaman's not in it, man.
No.
Like, he's in it, but he's not there. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. That's the perfect way to put it. I
legitimately feel like they set up a green screen in Jason Momoa's house. And they were like, they gave him a piece of paper with not even the other characters' lines on it, just his lines. And they made him say it
like
all.
Tom Holland in Endgame.
Yeah, dude. And then they just made him say a bunch of shit, and they just put it in. It felt like a fucking Game Grumps sketch. You know, they used to do that when Dan couldn't show up, and he'd be like, "You know that thing you just said? I agree. That was fucking Jason Momoa in Justice League."
Oh my god. Yeah. No, that was a fucking tragedy, dude. All the cyborg shit was a fucking tragedy.
It's just a CGI fuckness.
It would look like it was just like, all right, guys, here's all the sketches. They're all at lunch break, right? This is how I imagine this went down. They're all at lunch break. They're all having their sandwiches and stuff. Here's the character sketches. You know, here's Aquaman. Here's the Flash. And he's got a Sharpie, right? He's just circling a bunch of stuff. He got a red Sharpie, just circling around. And then, yeah, there's Superman, there's Batman. Yeah, that's everyone. So I think these lines look pretty good. Like, okay, where's Cyborg? Oh,
who?
Who? Is Cyborg? He's a cyborg. He's a robot. The robot guy, you know, the one that's in the movie. He's like, and he just takes the fucking tinfoil. He just ate his burrito from and just made a small human out of tinfoil. Took a fucking Sharpie, put a circle in the middle. Was like, there he is, right fucking there. Let's make this movie, Tinfoil Man versus the world.
Yeah.
Because he literally looks like fucking tinfoil.
It's so bad. And the worst part, it's just, that movie is such a fucking disaster. And it's really
for so many reasons
unexplainable. But the fact that it just like, the one thing you can say about the Avengers movies, yes, there's a formula. Yes, they're pretty guessable.
There's a formula for a reason,
they're
though.
Pretty predictable. But there's never a scene where you don't feel like not just the Avengers, but these characters aren't fucking friends. Mm-hmm. These people have lunch together. That scene, the fucking funny haha scene where they eat shawarma, that's them every day on set.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every character in the DC movies just fucking met that day.
Yeah,
because they probably did.
No fucking chemistry at all. And I'm sorry, I love the fucking Flash. I love the Flash.
Ezra Miller's a bad Flash.
But he is not that flamboyant. But I'm sorry, but the Flash isn't that colorful of a character, you know? He really isn't. Like, yes, he's a comic relief, but he's not an idiot. He's not super naive. Like, I don't know if you keep up a lot in Batman comics and stuff like that, especially these days. But from what I've read, Batman actually admires the Flash for his detective skills. And sometimes even Batman questions who's the better detective, him or Barry Allen. I didn't get that at all from this Barry Allen. It was pure comic relief, and I'm super fast. Yeah.
He's like, the Flash is Sonic. The Flash in the movie is just Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Legitimately. He just runs in and...
We could have just had Ben Schwartz in there, honestly.
Oh my god, that would have
Ben Schwartz for the Flash.
So real, that would have been really good. I just feel... And to be fair, I don't know a ton about the Flash. So I had a lot... I didn't watch the show. I never read any Flash comics.
Don't like the show either.
I've watched the Flashpoint movie, and that's all I know about the Flash. Is he's fast.
You know, and that's a good enough character that you need to know about him too. Like, because you got the sense that he's a smart ass, you know, and like he's definitely like quick with the tongue, you
Right.
know, but he's not boyish, you know, and like just
Right.
super childish and like.
I don't think he even is a kid, is he?
No, he's a grown ass man.
They're adults, right?
He's a grown ass man. Yeah.
And the one thing they mention that I thought could even be kind of cool, first of all, is done infinitely better in The Boys because there is a character. The Boys is just the Justice League, by the way.
Yeah.
I want you to know.
I know some stuff. I already have some stuff spoiled.
So A-Train
about
is
it, so.
essentially the Flash.
Mhm.
And one thing they bring up with him, and one thing they kind of bring up in the movie, but they make it this fucking bit, and I hate it, is if you're the Flash, you'd need a fuck ton of carbs and food
Yeah.
to sustain you.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And in one scene in The Boys, they just say that to A-Train. They're like, you need like 4,000 calories an hour to sustain your body.
Mhm.
And you're just like, oh, that makes sense. With the Flash, they're like, he's gonna like snacks. It's like,
Yeah.
hey guys, it's me, the Flash. Sorry, I gotta eat a pizza.
Yeah, it's a fucking
like
it's a fucking
annoying.
gimmick. Yeah.
I feel like I'm reading a fucking not like other girls' Tumblr blog. Like,
Mhm.
you ever, instead of going out, I like to sit in bed with Netflix and pizza. Bleh. It's like, fucking
Yeah.
eat my ass.
You know, and like the thing is, like there are some aspects of that too in other media when it comes to like the Flash. Like he is snacking, you know, like it is,
Yeah.
and it's a but it's never like a
It's
huge
not
like
annoying.
gimmick. Like for example, in Injustice, I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2. In one of his intros, he comes up with like he has a milkshake in his hand, you know, and he
Yeah.
finishes the last slurp and he just tosses it. Something small like that, you know,
Yeah.
because just little stuff like that is just enough you need for that kind of like character trait. But they made it a whole fucking thing.
It's beyond
like,
an exposition dump. It's a bit.
yeah.
It's fucking every second. He's like, oh, sorry guys, got a snack. Bleh. And it's just like, you're not quirky, dude. Stop. Like, you're annoying. Like,
Yeah.
that's the worst part. The worst part about the DC universe right now is that every character is that character, like diet that character.
Mhm.
It's like whoever made the movie read like one page from a couple of comic books and was like, got it.
Yeah,
And then
that's
they
it.
made the
I know
movie.
who I'm writing a whole movie about now.
It's like one step away from the early 2000s Catwoman movie,
Ooh.
where the guy didn't even bother to look up Catwoman. He was
Mhm.
just like, oh, Catwoman, she's a cat woman.
Dresses like a cat.
Not even dresses like cat. She is a woman who is slowly becoming a cat. Got it.
Are we talking about Michelle Pfeiffer or Halle Berry?
We're talking about fucking Halle Berry. We're talking about Patience Phillips. We're talking about the fact that she eats tuna and sleeps on the roof now because she's just slowly becoming a cat.
I fucking forgot that was a whole part
because
of the
a
goddamn
bunch of
movie.
space cats burped on her.
Is that really what happened? in the
Yes.
movie? I only remember playing the Catwoman game
She's-
for PS2 for like
She's
10 minutes.
Kidnapped by a bunch of space cats and they breathe on her, and then she becomes a cat and steals jewelry.
The way you're talking about this right now, the way your eyes are wildly darting in your head from point to point with your hand pointing, it's like a fucking conspiracy theorist, like fucking like Charlie
Pepe
Kelly
Sylvia
and,
with the
Pepe Sylvia.
with the fucking red
Who
yarn.
the hell is Pepe Sylvia? So I love
can't-
Pepe Sylvia.
I can't, dude. And then they were like, "Well, it's about girls. Girls wear makeup. Villain make makeup, but it make you strong. Catwoman, stop her.
I think I need to rewatch this movie.
You don't.
I just told you the whole thing.
Hey, what I just said? You got it.
That's it.
Anne Hathaway was a better Catwoman because at least they went, we'll just not put her in it that much.
She's also still a human.
Yeah,
So-
she's a person. She's not
she
slowly
has
turning
no
into a cat.
inclination to become a fucking animorph.
Catwoman was just an Animorphs movie. Don't fucking at me about it. I will die on this hill.
That was a film for furries.
Yeah.